to have Venerable Sayadaw Nyadika Lingara to continue on the series on profound Pali Nikaya study on the first book of Digha Nikaya, Sīlakkhandha-Vagga, which is now a course of the University of the West Community Education. It is the continuation of a teaching series which is titled The Profound Pali Nikaya Study and Discussion on its Daily Application. We are also very honored to have University of the West in California, USA, Pa'au, Sudarnabhumi, Indonesia to co-host this series. We are very excited to have this teaching series. It's now officially one of the community's educational courses at University of the West. The teaching of the series is scheduled for 1.5 hours, including question and answer. Today is part 19. Before teaching starts, there are a few housekeeping reminders. We are using simultaneous interpretation Zoom functionality for today's teaching. First, let's briefly go over the channel selection and take a minute to select your preferred language channel. If you see a globe icon on your Zoom screen, that is the interpretation icon. Please go there to choose among English, Chinese, Indonesian, or Vietnamese according to your language. If you like to listen in English, we suggest you go to select English channel rather than stay at off or original sound channel. Otherwise, you will not be able to hear the English interpretation from Chinese or Indonesian interpreter during the question portion. If you're using a cell phone or a mobile device, after you select the channel, please make sure to click Done to complete the selection. Please go ahead to select your preferred language channel now. If you have any questions, please send it to our Zoom chat room. Also, as a quick reminder about proper Dhamma learning etiquette, even though this is a virtual Zoom session, please dress appropriately, sit upright, and pay full attention during the teaching to show respect to the teacher and the Dhamma. Thank you for your cooperation. Now we are ready for the teaching. May we invite Sayadaw to start the teaching and interpreter Bande and interpreter Dhamma Francis start the interpretation, please. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, thank you, Martin. Let's start our today's Nikaya study, reciting Namo Tassa 3 times together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, welcome back to everyone to the Nikaya study. Today we are going to study the part 19 of this Nikaya study series. This is about the Digha Nikaya 11 Sutta, Kewata Sutta. So here I changed the spelling in the Digha Nikaya translation book. It is used the Kewata Sutta. Other than T, they use the D. So Kewata, it should be pronounced. But in our Burmese version, it has the character of Ta. That's why it should be here. Kewata Sutta. Kewata Sutta. So this is just pronunciation different. Okay, so here, this started with the request of the lay devotees, the householder Kewata, to the Buddha while the Buddha was staying at the Nalanda. So Nalanda still you can find the name in India. So there, the Pawariga, this is one of the monastery in Nalanda city. There, the devotees Kevoda, he really devotes in the Buddhist teaching and also Buddhist community. Also, he has a wish to develop Buddhist community, to expand, having more members. There is one going to the Buddha, and he paid his respect to the Buddha, and he made a request. Mentioned that the situation of Nalanda is a rich city and also very populous. So he requested to the Buddha to ask any monks regularly show the supernatural performance. Supernatural performance is called the superhuman feats or miracles. In order to pursue the people, non-Buddhist people at that time, his intention is to develop the Buddhist member. Then he mentioned that by showing or by performing the supernatural performance and miracles, the many people will follow to the Buddha and listen to the Buddha's teaching. So they will have more faith. He mentioned that. By this reason, he requests us to the Buddha to ask somebody, not necessary to perform the Buddha himself. If the Buddha asks any monk to perform such kind of superhuman performance by using the powers or supernatural power, it is called abhinya in Pali. And actually, as he mentioned, the people have such kind of emotion that can be easily influenced by the performance of the miracle, any miracle or any unusual performance. They can easily get impression on anybody else. So in this case, the Buddha rejected 3 times actually. So for the first time, what the Buddha said is, this is not the way I teach. No. What the Buddha said is, this is not the purpose teaching Dhamma to the monks and also everybody, or the followers, to perform the supernatural performance or supernatural feats and miracle, to pursue the lay people. They are white clothed at that time, and this word modified to the lay people. So lay people wear the white clothes, although they wear the different colors, and this mentioned the white clothes, wearing the white clothes. This refers to the lay people living in the household life. And so the Buddha's mentioned that this is not the purpose to attract the people or becoming followers. And rejecting that, the Kevoda, he repeated his request for 3 times. Then the Buddha let him know about the disadvantages of performance of miracle and introducing three kinds of miracle. So there are three kinds of miracle. And also here the Buddha say, I have already known them, and by my knowledge, and also declare and mention about the three types, what are these already. And then Buddha repeated actually. And here the first one, which is called the psychic power, using the psychic power perform the different kinds of performance, or the vanishing and sudden appearance, and going through the wall, and sinking into the earth, etc. Different kinds of superhuman performance, and these are not the texts the ordinary people can do. Ordinary people mean just the people living in the regular life without any practice. So using such kind of psychic power, showing them the miracle performance, that is called the miracle of psychic power. It's called the Edi-Pariharya. And the second one is the miracle of telepathy. And this will mention later, I will explain. Then the third one is miracle of instruction. So three in Pali. The first one is Edi-Pariharya. Second one, Adesana-Pariharya. The third one is Anusasani-Pariharya. So the word Pariharya refers to the kinds of miracle. Okay, the Buddha mentioned three kinds and continue to explain what are these three. The first one, the miracle of psychic powers, is displaying various kinds of performance using his own psychic power, and such as I mentioned, there is different kinds of performance. Even traveling by his own body to the Brahma world. So this already mentioned in the Samanyaphala Sutta, Sutta number 2. So this is Edi-Vida, the knowledge of supernatural performance or the miracle. So we don't need to repeat it. If you want to know more about what kind of performance are called the miracle of the psychic power, and you can go and check in the Sutta number 2. Then, of course, yes, if any monks perform such kind of miracle of psychic power, someone who has already have the faith and trust, already get the faith in the Buddhist teaching and the faith in this monk, and by seeing the performance of the monk, and he will say, "Oh, this is a special one," and then he will share such kind of skill performed by the monk to those who are not believing in Buddhist teaching. Non-Buddhist people, saying that it is wonderful. There's the monks, the ascetic, the monk, what refers to the monks who perform the miracle of psychic power. He will say, "Oh, our venerable can perform such kind of performance by using his psychic power. It is really wonderful." And he will introduce this kind. Then it can be happening. Then the other non-Buddhist people, they can say, "Oh, sir, there is something called the Gandhara charm. I mean, a kind of skill called Gandhara. It's called in commentary mentioned that charm or this spell, a kind that is stratified the ascetic Gandhara, who call Gandhara, or as another way, it's mentioned that the ascetics in the region of Gandhara, they practice and then they are famous in this charm. So by using the power of the Gandhara charm, everybody can perform. This is not really wonderful. They can say that those who have the skeptical or skeptical doubt, I mean, not believing in their performance using his psychic powers, or actually this is not psychic power. It can be performed through the Gandhara charm. So in this case, the believer, the believer, I mean the Buddhist people, by referring to such kind of performance, he cannot make the other people follow to the Buddhism, because the non-Buddhist people, they will compare the performance through psychic power to the performance through the Gandhara charm. This is the regular one. Whoever learn the Gandhara charm, they can do it. There's nothing, they will say. So this is the reason the Buddha is not recommending to display such kind of miracle of psychic power in public. Even the Buddha laid down a bhikkhu's rule is not to perform such kind of miracle using psychic power in public. And so you see, seeing the danger of such miracles, I dislike, reject, and despise them. So the Buddha rejected the first miracle to use. And the second one, the miracle of telepathy. Also, this also already mentioned, a monk using his power of telepathy. This is the English you see. I don't know exactly how they do in the psychological practice, but in Buddhist meditation practice, after the attainment of the complete set of this jhana, the high concentration level, and that monk can read the other's mind by using his own mind. So he can read his mind he can read the other people's mind by using his mind. And also he can say how is that, how your mind is in this moment already happened. And I know, and he can say that. So by seeing that, by keep giving this qualification or this skill of reading others' mind, the Buddhist follower can introduce the other non-Buddhist people. But similarly, similar to the first miracle, for this miracle also, non-Buddhist people, they can say there is a charm which is called manika. So by using that manika charm, everybody, anyone who knows the manika charm, they can read others' mind as well. This is not something wonderful, and then they can compare the second miracle of telepathy to their skill of using the manika charm to read the other's mind. And so for that reason, the Buddha say, I reject it. And seeing this danger, I reject it to perform such kind of miracle as well. So 2 are rejected out of 3. Then what about the last one? What is the last one? The miracle of instruction, adesana patiharya. So in this case, a monk giving instruction. This is a kind of teaching. So learning from the Buddha and the great disciples, and he knows what is good, what are the way to consider. So then he share his knowledge. He teach his followers, his disciples, devotees, consider in this way and don't consider in that way. And direct your mind in this way and do not direct that way. And also give up that. Give up that refers to the unwholesome nature, or give up unwholesome nature. And also here again, this refers to the trying to gain wholesome nature, wholesome deed. And also preserving it. So needs to preserve the practice or the effort, the concentration of mindfulness. So now preserve yourself in the practice like this. So the monk, the learned monks, he can give such kind of instruction by using the miracle of instruction. Now, this is the last miracle. So then the Buddha repeated the teaching, the common teaching in this book, the first book of Digha Nikaya, many times repeated this process, starting from the arising of the Tathagata in this world, and preach the Dhamma and getting faith. And any devotees, any lay people, they go forth, they ordain and practice the morality, practice restraint of six sense law, and the concentration, up to the attainment of jhana. After that, keep practicing wisdom aspect from the inside knowledge and then different knowledge, as mentioned in the second sutta of Digha Nikaya, Samanyaphala Sutta. Finally, he realized the Four Noble Truths, get the past knowledge, and destructs all corruption, all asava. So asava kaya jnana. Then he can give the statement, there's nothing further here. So this also the miracle of instruction. The Buddha gave the Dhamma talk, the preaching of the Dhamma. That is miracle of instruction used by the Buddha himself. And the Buddha conclude his teaching, 3 kinds of miracle already. So these are 3 kinds of miracle to the Kewata the Buddha mentioned. Then also give an example to teach further to the Kewata. And there was a monk in this order, in this community. There was a monk, a Sarima, not mentioned exactly by the name or by the lineage, and just a monk. And he had a thought, and also he wanted to know where the 4 great elements of earth, water, fires, and air elements. So these are 4 great elements. So where these 4 great elements cease without remainder, without any remaining, and they vanish or they cease. And this is his question, his inquiry. And by keeping this question, and he started to research, interviewing. Then he practiced the mental concentration. By the power of mental concentration, he can reach to the Deva realms. So up to the Brahma realm, he will travel around to search for the answer where the 4 great elements cease without remainder. Then first, he reached to the realms of the Deva of 4 great kings. Is called the Jatu Maharajika Deva realm, the lowest Deva realms. Then he asked the Devas, this is the Devas in their realms. He just asked where the 4 great elements cease without remainder. Then the Devas They say, we don't know actually, but it is possible if you go and ask the 4 great kings, the leader of that, the leader or the ruler of the ram, the Deva rams, because these 4 great kings are loftier and wiser than the residents Devas in their ram. So they may know. Also, they also not sure. And so if you are still want to ask for this question, and then you better go and ask these 4 great kings, other than asking any of these members. Then they suggest. Then following the suggestion, the monk. He went to the great king. Also, they also respond the same thing, referring to the higher. So 33 God, the second Deva rams, you already know maybe that. So Tao Densa ram. Then the Devas, they refers their leader, their king, Saka, and Saka refers to the higher ram, Yama Devas, and they refers to the leader. So now we can know the 6 Deva rams and their king or their leaders. Here Suyama, and this translates as the son of Deva. Actually, this is the Deva, If we say the son of Deva is seem a kind, but Pali was Deva Buddha and Devata referring to the same meaning, a kind or the beings in the Deva realm. Then they refer to the Tusita, and Tusita also the leaders, son Tusita. Then Nimanarati, then the number 5 Deva realms. Then they refer to the Sunimita. This is the leader of the Nimanarati realms. And finally reach to the highest Deva realms, Pranimita Vasavati. They also refer to the Vasavati. Then Vasavati refers to, so maybe the Brahma in the Brahma realms of retinues, because the lower Brahma realm is called the Brahma's retinue. So the bhikkhu keep going. Then the Brahma retinues, the Brahmas, they follow to the great Brahma, which is called Mahabrahma. This is the first class of Brahma realms, first stage of Brahma realm. And present that, actually, he went to the Deva and asked, the answer is we don't know. Then they say, there is, we call the Mahabrahma, great Brahma, and they believe that the unconqueror by the others, and also the Mahabrahma, according to the lower Devas and the Brahmas retinues, they believe that Mahabrahma, he see everything, so all seeing and all powerful. Also the law, then still they're thinking the creator, but maybe not all of these still believe the Mahabrahma is creator, because they already learned the teaching of the Buddhism. The world is not created by the Brahma, as according to the Buddhist teaching. Then also that time, appointer and orderer, father of all that have been and shall be. So father of all beings, they believe. Then this is the common usage to refer to the great Brahma, Mahabrahma. Then because the Mahabrahma is loftier and wiser than we are, so you should go and see. Then the location where is a great Brahma, that time. Actually, for the lower Brahma, they don't know where exactly Mahabrahma live. So we don't know, but there are the sign we can see when the Mahabrahma is coming. So this is the kind of light and radiant, very shine, is not cannot be compared with the other lights, other kinds. So such shine are indication is initially coming before the appearance of Mahabrahma. This is how the lower Brahma, the Brahma retinue, refers to the appearance of Brahma at their present. So okay, then finally he reached to the Mahabrahma. Then he asked the same question: where do the four great elements cease without remainder? In this case, the answer of Mahabrahma is, I am Brahma, great Brahma. So he just claimed, who is he? Who is I am Mahabrahma, like this. But for that answer, the bhikkhu, he didn't satisfy. He could not satisfy with that. And he said, I did not ask if you are Brahma or not. I'm not asking who you are. I just asked where the great elements cease without remainder. And second time, and he insisted third time, although the Mahabrahma didn't want to give the straightforward answer to that question. Because for that case, the Mahabrahma also have to say, I don't know, actually. But when the monks was insisting for 3 times, repeating 3 times, that time the Mahabrahma, he took that monk by arm and take him away from the assembly, the audience of the Brahmas. Then he said that the reason why he is keep talking, I'm Mahabrahma, like this, is not giving the straightforward answer. Then here he says is these deva believe, because these deva, when you are asking around, and there's nothing Mahabrahma does not see, because they believe Mahabrahma know everything. So in front of them, the Mahabrahma, them say, he didn't want to give the straightforward answer, I don't know, because they believe there's nothing he does not know, and there's nothing he is unaware of. And that's why I did not speak in front of them. Actually, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know where. Then also he pointed out that the monk, this action you are doing, such in the answer in the Deva realm and Brahma, coming even to the Brahma realm, is your action, you are wrong, you are mistake. Because you go beyond the Blessed One, so referring to the Buddha, you go beyond the Buddha, not asking to the Buddha, and you are asking the other people. This is your mistake. No, although you are searching, you cannot get it. If you want to get the answer, so go back to the Blessed One, to the Buddha, and ask this question to him. And also, whatever he, the Buddha, gave the answer to you, then accept it. I mean, don't come back. Sometimes some people, they ask to somebody, after that, and they go to ask another person. After collecting, and then they come back, and then who say in this way and that way is not the same as you gave. So they just went to collect such kind of inquiries and argument, but they didn't want to learn. So here for the Mahabrahmas, so you should go back and ask to the Buddha and learn the Buddha's answer and accept it. So he means don't come back. Just take it, what the Buddha say. Then in this case, the monk realizing that he was taken wrong way, and then he went back to the Buddha's and using his supernatural powers, concentration powers, and appear the Buddha is present, because the Buddha is repeating this story. Then paying his respect to the Buddha and sitting down, and then he asked the same question, where the great element seeks without remainder. Then the Buddha repeated his answer. Actually, it's not really directly giving an answer. And Buddha gave a simile, a story of the land seeing bats. So Tiradasi, Sakuna. Here Sakuna is bat. So Upama, Sakun Upama. Tiradasi. Tira is the land or shore. So once upon a time, I mean, it's already happened. The merchant in the traveling in the ocean, seafaring merchant across the ocean. Then when they sail on the ocean, they took a land-siding bird. A land-siding bird. This is a kind of bird. It can fly pretty far and can see the land. So that it can see the land. So when they lost in the ocean, where is the land? When they don't know, and they wanted to know, they released that bird, and that bird searching for the land, and then they go to different direction, east, south, west, north, in different direction. And if the bird cannot see the land, and he flew back to the ship. By seeing the bird coming back to the ship, and they understand that still we are far from the land, far from the shore. Then if there is a land, the bird directly flew there, it does not come back to the ship. So in that case, they follow to the bird to reach to the land. And this is how the merchant do. So the Buddha giving this example, you are just like a land-siding bird. You went to even to the Brahma wall, to reach to the Brahma wall. You have been already, not getting any answer, any proper answer, and you come back. It's just like the bird not seeing land in any direction, any direction, and coming back to the ship. In the same way, now you come back to me. Yeah. So given this example, the Buddha asked the monk. And okay, so about your question, so the monk is asking such kind of question is not complete. For the Deva and Brahma, maybe they have no ideas about this question and what kind of question, it should be asked in that way, or like this. They may not have any ideas. But for the Buddha know this question is not in the proper way, not formulated in proper way. That's why Buddha corrects the question first. So the commentary mentioned that this is the nature of the Buddha in conversation, in having conversation. If somebody bring the incomplete question, or somebody asks in inappropriate way, so he corrects the question first. Then he discuss about the answer. So now also the Buddha, you should not ask like this, and you should ask in this way. And the Buddha gives the correction in the question. So for the Buddha's question, is have more information to complete, to cover. So for the monks, he just asks only where the great elements seeks. So for the Buddha here, where do So we can say the 4 elements, no food and find. We cannot stand on, cannot find the base, not just season, even for the base. Where are long and short? These are also the form of materialities or rupa. Long and short, small and great and fair and fall. These are different interpretation of the materialities. So long and short features or the form, and small and gray size like this. And also, where are nama and form, name and form? This refers to the mentalities and materialities wholly described. So if you ask covering these feta, it is the proper way to ask this question. Also, another way we can say to get the answer you are searching for. Because the Buddha know his intention, why the monks willing to ask. What is the answer? So directing to the answer, the question should be corrected, should be reformed with more information. So the Buddha gave the way of questioning, then give an answer by himself. Then here, the translation book, he used the consciousness to translate the word vijnana. In Pali, is use the word vijnana. So the other translation, I will not discuss in large. Here, I'd like to introduce this way of translation. This translator used the consciousness because in many other places, the word vijnana is translated as consciousness. Or Vijnana-Khandha among the 5 aggregates, classification of 5 aggregates. Vijnana-Khandha translated as aggregate of consciousness. Also, in many places, the consciousness is standard word to translate the Pali word vijnana. But here, according to the commentary, also considering the other basis is principle of Abhidhamma. This is not the appropriate place to translate this word vijnana into consciousness. Then the commentary gives the vijnana to translate into the word nibbana. So because this word vijnana in Pali formation, vinyatapandi vijnana, so it comes in the passive form. Although the Buddha used the word vijnana here and also again here for the last part. And they are not referring to the same thing. The first vijnana refers to the nibbana, which can be understood something to be known by supramundane knowledge. Supramundane knowledge refers to mega or pala. So past knowledge and future knowledge. So vijnana translating that something to be known by the supramundane knowledge, it refers to nibbana. That's why in this case, according to commentary, the Buddha refers to the nibbana. But here, another question is, if we say the nibbana by using where, it seems nibbana refers to a kind of location, but actually, it will be too far if we go, to discuss about the interpretation of nibbana. Okay, so basically, the nibbana is without location or without time, out of the location and time recognition. So anyway, we will use this word understanding Nibbana instead of regular consciousness. So we can say the where the Vijnana is singularless. You can say the signless, signless, so there's no sign. And also boundless, no boundary. All luminous. Okay, still, we can use this all luminous in the translation of. On the other hand, it can be said that accessible from different direction, like this, so different way. Anyway, this refers to Nibbana. The Buddha gave where Nibbana, so something like this. Then there is where art, where water, fire, air. I mean, all four elements, four great elements, find no footing. In the cycle of rebirth existence, in any existence, there will be four great elements. Now, if you already understand about the four formless plane of existence, there will not be any materiality of elements. But overall conclusion, we can say that in the round of rebirth, the samsara, the realm of existence, there will be the footing for the great element. The great element will be there. But Nibbana, out of the existence, out of the plane of existence, so there's no footing for great element, Buddha say, because there's no arising for great element in Nibbana. It is already ceased because of not arising. So cessation can be understood in two ways. The first one is cessation after arising, just like our mentalities and materialities, arising due to the condition after that, and then they are ceasing or vanishing. And for the Nibbana, such kind of cessation can be understood non-arising, through the non-arising nature. Okay, so in Nibbana, there's no footing for four great elements. This is the first part of the answer. And also continue repeating to the question. So where are long and short, etc. So they are both long and short, small and great, and fair and foul. Can be destroyed. Not arising, it means it is a kind of completely destroying, including all mentalities and materialities. Although this one, Nama and Rupa, in the common sense of translation, they use the name and form. But we can understand this is all kinds of mentalities and materialities. And finally, we can understand in Nibbana, there's no great four element, also any appearance of materialities, including all mentalities and all kinds of materialities. Okay. Then with the cessation of consciousness here, the word Vijnana come here again. But in this case, it can be understood directly to the regular translation of consciousness, Vijnana here, consciousness. And this is all destroyed. The cessation of consciousness can be understood the last moment of Arahat's life. After the attainment of Arahatship in that very life, at the end of the life of Arahat, the final consciousness, we call the Parinibbana Juti. So the death consciousness of the Arahat, final liberation. No more consciousness afterward. The last one. Then with the cessation of consciousness, this moment also have the three phases: arising, and steady phase, and finally the passing away. So with the cessation of final parinibbana, death consciousness, it is done, all destroyed. It is all destroyed. Make completely liberation afterward. Then also, maybe I hope it's not so confused. After that, I will show you the Sayadaw Ukumara B1 size slideshow. It's conducted in 2021 class, and you can get some information for Pali. And here, I'd like to add more information about this consciousness. So for the first, I mentioned that this consciousness refers to the last moment of samsara, the last moment of arahant's life. After that, no more rebirth and no more consciousness and no more materiality at all. This is the first way. And the second way, the cessation of consciousness can be understood. The cessation of the karmic consciousness. The karmic consciousness, as long as our karmic consciousness is not seen, it will generate, because the karma generates the resultant. So the resultant become life. So as long as we cannot find the cessation of the karmic consciousness, there will be resultant generated by that karmic consciousness, and there will be life more and more. So by the attainment of arahantship, or this knowledge, the past knowledge of final enlightenment, the karmic consciousness is destroyed. There's no more karmic potency to produce for the next life. That's why by the cessation of karmic consciousness, this is all destroyed again. You can understand. So this is how the Buddha mentioned to the Hausura Kiboda. This is further explanation, talking about the miracle of instruction is superior to the miracle of psychic power or miracle of telepathy, because the Hausura Kiboda have the inclination to the performance of former two miracles than the last one, miracle of instruction. Although the Buddha and their disciple, the monks, are given the teaching and giving the instruction, it means, on the other hand, performing the last miracle in public through the teaching, through the Dhamma talk. He did not satisfy and expect to see, to have the events performing the former two miracles. That's why the Buddha let him know the value of the last miracle. So finally, he has delighted and he has rejoiced the Buddha as well. Then let's see here. And this is the Sayadaw Ukumara B1 size teaching I just received from the teaching series of the Power Georgia. Then let's go back. Let's directly go to the point we are talking about. Then here, ita aboja patawi dejo wayoja wayonagaradi, like this. So the word vinyana use. This refers to the this vinyana refers to the nibbana here. Nibbana, in this nibbana. And for the another parts, is here see the Vinyanasa Nirodhina, the word Vinyana again. This Vinyana is translated as the cessation of Abhisankara. Actually, Abhisankara is, as I mentioned, the karmic consciousness. So this is translated as the consciousness. So if you went this slide, and you can request to the File Georgia email, and then you can get it. Okay, so I'm going to start here my explanation about the Digha Nikaya 11 Sutta of Digha Nikaya, Kewata Sutta, and we will have 2 more sutta to study for this book. And thank you very much. Thank you for your attention and participation.
Thank you, Seattle, for today's teaching. We have about 30 minutes left. First, we have a few announcements to make, and afterwards we will open the floor for questions. Next week will be Siaro Ukumara Biwanta will resume the teaching on the Buddha and his great disciples. It'll be part 6, subtitled Disega Buddha and Lifestyle, on January 27th, Saturday evening in the US, and January 28th, Sunday morning in Asia. In 2 weeks' time, we will have Siaro Dinadika Lingara continue this Nikaya study series, part 20, on February 3rd, Saturday evening in the US, and February 4th, Sunday morning in Asia. For our next homework assignment, Siaro would like us to read the translated Sutta of Digha Nikaya 12 in your preferred language to prepare ourselves before the next Dhamma talk. Here is also the Google Drive link to Pali, English, Chinese, Burmese, Indonesian, and Vietnamese of the Nikaya. On this link, you can also access the lecture notes of the teaching series. Lecture notes are also translated to Chinese, Indonesian, and Vietnamese. As mentioned earlier, we are very glad to announce that our co-sponsor, University of the West, has launched a new community education program, and it will include our Nikaya Studies series as one of the community education courses. And the course number is CE-MED825 if you want to register. Please don't forget to check out our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook. We have a YouTube playlist for the Nikaya study teachings and question and answer as well. Any further suggestions or inquiry, please don't hesitate to contact us. Our sincere thanks to our co-host, University of the West Religious Studies Department in California, and Pa'ao